Guys, look at that wave, it's crazy. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, guys. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you're in this world. Today I'm going to share with you that story of how I learned to surf in Nigeria. A few years back, I was sent to Nigeria for work, and I spent around a year and a half there, including in a location called Lagos. It's the all capital, and I won't get too much more into details because I can do it in another video. But for the short story, that company I worked for had a beach house, and every weekend we would go there, and I thought, maybe I can windsurf there. But actually, after checking the condition, there wasn't enough wind for windsurfing, so suddenly I'm like, hey, I see waves, so maybe I can try to surf. And bear with me, I only windsurf mainly, and I never surfed before, so I'm like, well, great opportunity, I'm gonna grab a board in France, bring it back here, and it's gonna be great. So every weekend what would happen is that we would grab some fresh shrimps and fish under the bridge on the local market, and then would grab a boat, not that one either, I wish, and yes, more like that one, and we would basically cross the museum of the sunken ships, or maybe should I say the harbor, because it is a harbor and there's so many ships that are sunken, it's crazy. And they don't remove them. And once you've crossed, you arrive in a kind of delta with nice little islands like that, and there you have a lot of beach houses. So the company had a beach house there, it looked like that, and the first time I brought my surfboard, you can see me right here with the first time my surfboard in Nigeria. I was super excited. It was my first time surfing there, and actually just playing with the board. I had no clue what I was doing. It looked like a few locals were interested in it also and joined me in the water, as you can see. And on my first wave ever, I managed to stand up and paddle and almost turn. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because it's nothing glorious, but it was still exciting. Okay, and basically, this was the first wave. The second wave was already worse. And then I don't think I've been able to repeat that for an extra like 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's pretty insane, because actually the conditions I had that day on that beach were exceptional, because the rest of the time it looked just like that. What it taught me is where not to surf. When it's closing out, massive breaks closing out, well, don't go surf there. I was pretty disappointed because I didn't progress until I finally went to a place called Tarko Bay. And Tarko Bay, aka T Bay, basically Tarko Bay is a bay in Lagos where you can only access by boat. So you take one of those boats, and the funny thing with that, guys, is that I would take that local boat every week, but I had to renegotiate the price every time. Even though they knew me, I would have to renegotiate. Fun fact apart, when I discovered those two spots, guys, it became way better. My surf improved, as you can see, and I also found a local community. There was John, the Italian surfer that actually was born and raised in Nigeria. There is God Power, the local Nigerian surfer, a pioneer, and he even opened his surf school today. And then we had a few expats come and go also, and basically we had a very nice community of surfers, very tiny. When it was the most crowded, it was like 6 people, so it's just to give you an idea. And the waves there, you have 2 types of waves. You have Tarko Bay and Lighthouse. Lighthouse is basically facing the open ocean, and it works really well only when you have offshore wind. The rest of the time it closes out really fast. When it's offshore, you get like those long waves peeling off. Really nice. It's completely tubing when it's offshore. It's absolutely amazing. I love spending time in Lighthouse because it just builds up your strength, it builds up your stamina. You also learn to balance and stand up faster. Yeah, you learn a lot. But in that beach also you have a lot of shipwrecks all along the beach. It's crazy. That's exactly how it looks. That's where we surfed. It's pretty impressive, to be honest. And then there is Tarko Bay, the bay itself, and in the bay it's really weird. It's like super flat water, and suddenly you have a set of a few waves that come in, and it just like lifts like those massive breaks, and it's really fast wave with shallow water. It would be great for bodyboarding, but you can also surf it. Just look at those footages, guys. Alright, I know it's insane. I broke so many fins there. Friends broke ribs, boards all the time. I mean, it's insane, and it's beautiful. There are specific seasons where each spot will work differently. In the rainy season, the bay works really well, but around December, January, it's actually the ocean part that works better. But you might be wondering, guys, because Nigeria sounds super scary and everything, so what did the environment look like where we were surfing? So basically, we could call it goats and boats. Why? Because around Tarko Bay you had lots of goats, alive or dead. Sometimes they were even floating with us in the water. And then on the lighthouse parts on the open beach you have so many shipwrecks. And what has happened in the past few years since I left Nigeria? Well, God Power actually opened his surf school for the locals, which is great. A lot of kids are learning to surf. And I see also that there are a lot more people in the water than when I used to be there. When I was there, it was like maximum 6 people in the water, but now that I look at the videos, there are like around a dozen people in the water, and I imagine it must get super crowded in the water, but there was a good ambience in the past. I'm sure that kept like that. So basically that's where I learned to surf. I know it's pretty uncommon, and the water is super warm there. It's super nice. It was a great vibe, great community. You can learn. The only problem is that there's no equipment there. You can't buy boards, you can't buy fins, you can't buy anything. So anytime you break something, you have to import it back from abroad, and that's a big issue when you're surfing in Nigeria, to be honest. For the people locally, it was very difficult to get boards or get stuff. So hopefully they're building a way to build their own boards or repair them themselves with more like fiber work. I don't know exactly what's happening, but that's what it is. If you're into surfing and you might be thinking, hey, I want to go to Nigeria, you know what, I want to go surf there. If I'm still correct, if it hasn't changed, it's a bit difficult to get in the country because you need to be invited by someone living there for the visa, and also you need to be taken care of because it's not the safest country to just cruise around on your own. So I wouldn't recommend like just cruising if you don't know anyone, but just reach out to the local community. I'm sure they will be happy to help you out if you want to get there. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed that storytelling about surfing in Nigeria and how I discovered that passion. If you did, leave a thumbs up for the video. Please let me know if you've surfed already in Nigeria, or where is the craziest place you've surfed in your life. And last but not least, guys, to follow the adventure in 2017, make sure you subscribe because it's gonna be epic, and I will see you tomorrow for new adventures. Last but not least, guys, make the most of your time on this planet. You never know when it ends. See you guys, bye bye.